tried some Australian licorice earlier. This is a different Australian candy. This is called Bumbles, and it's honeycomb. It's supposedly kind of similar. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to open it up. You're getting some ASMR here. Oof. Oh no, they're not individually wrapped. RIP. Okay, I'm gonna hold the bag up here then because the chocolate's down here. I thought they were all individually wrapped. But this is kind of similar to the violet crumbles that I tried in a previous video earlier. I don't know which order you're gonna see these in, so it's kind of hard for me to talk about it. But earlier I had something called a violet crumble, which is also Australian, and it's basically chocolate covered honeycomb, which is what this is. I think this is popular in a different part of Australia than where I went. Because I went to sort of West Australia, like Sydney kind of area. So I mostly had the stuff that was popular there. I believe this is South Australia. Oh, that's cute. It uses sustainable palm oil. So it's got a little orangutan on the back, and it says save the orangutans. That's cool. Oh, this is gluten-free. Wait. What? It says gluten-free, except it says contains wheat. It says the wheat has been processed to allow this food to meet the Drug and Food Administration requirements for gluten-free foods. The standards in Australia be different. I don't understand that. Yeah, so anyway, let me pull one of these out. I'm gonna put the thing over there because I know it's making a lot of noise. They look like this. Oh, you can kind of see in that one a little bit hint of the honeycomb, but I'm gonna bite into it so you can see what I'm talking about. See, that's what I meant in the other review. Honeycomb. Oh. Australian honeycomb has this really sort of unpleasant foamy texture. I don't love it. But yeah, so that's the honeycomb. Then it's covered in chocolate. I believe this chocolate is tempered, so it's a little bit snappier. It tends to be that America and Australia, I believe, temper their chocolate. Europe and the UK do not. Yeah, so if you've never had a honeycomb, it's kind of got a sort of like toasted marshmallow flavor with a little bit of honey. It doesn't really taste... honeycomb is a kind of candy. I realize that honeycomb in America is different because literal honeycomb, that's not what this is. Honeycomb is a type of candy that they have in Australia, some parts of Europe, I believe, where it's kind of like almost like a honey meringue, almost, kind of. It's kind of hard to explain. It has the same kind of texture as meringue, that unpleasant kind of like foamy, you know, when you bite down and you're like, ooh, it's like I put florist foam in my mouth. But it's only unpleasant when you're biting down. Honeycomb, however, shatters way more easily than meringue does. Meringue tends to... Sorry, there's like sun. It's getting in my eyes. Meringue tends to be a lot more solid, and it'll just break into larger pieces, whereas honeycomb, if you bite it wrong, sometimes it shatters and it goes all over the place, which is why I said earlier when I did the violet crumbles that I got really lucky because it didn't shatter all over the place and end up all over the table. This one kind of did that. There was a couple pieces I saw fly out that way, but overall, I mean, it's not my favorite, but it's not the worst. It's kind of just, I don't like the texture of like meringue, and it's basically just honey meringue, so on a scale for me, it's kind of like, I don't really like the texture of this, but the flavor is good. Would I eat them if I was Australian and I was raised on them? Probably. This is like the Turkish Delight thing, right? Like, would I sell my siblings for some Turkish Delight? Yeah, maybe. Honestly, if I was in the war and I hadn't had sugar in like 4 years. You know, I don't like Patrick that much. But, you know, like, if I was Australian, I would probably like this a lot more than, I'm obviously not Australian, and I just kind of don't like the texture of them. So, you know, I feel like this is one of those things, if you grow up eating this kind of stuff, you'll love it. If you just don't happen to like meringue or like the texture of meringue, you're probably not going to like this either. But they do taste like toasted marshmallows, so like there's really good taste, but bad texture. So yeah. It is melting in my hand though, so I'm going to take another bite of this, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, not for me.
Well, I didn't go to work. I told the boss that I was sick. You can't use the car because it didn't work a lick. Sometimes I wonder why